Welcome back. The Department of Environmental Health is urging butchers and farmers to comply with safety procedures as the country moves into the festive season. Those who consume these products are also being urged to pay attention to the verification signs to ensure that they are safe for consumption. Solange Alfred reports.
During the festive season, an increase of butchers along roadsides can be seen throughout St. Lucia selling their local meats. According to the Department of Environmental Health, the processes and procedures guiding the slaughtering of animals and sale of roadside meats are clear-cut. In light of the recent contaminated romaine lettuce scare, which prompted the department to issue statements and call for the removal of the product from grocery store shelves, Hot 7 News sought to find out if local meats are given adequate surveillance during the festive season. Speaking with Environmental Health Officer Ernie Pierre, he explains that the regulations that govern the process of slaughtering meat and its sale must be followed by all to ensure the environmental safety of the purchasing public.
We continue to monitor and to try our best to work with the butchers, but there are many instances where they have had to bear loss of significant amount of the meat, if not the whole animal, and that again can bring loss of revenue and so on. Is something we often don't like doing, but in public interest, our main role as environmental health officers is to ensure that the meat or the meat products that have been placed on the market is safe for human consumption. And if in our minds or there is any evidence that this product cannot be deemed safe, we will not hesitate to condemn this product.
Pierre explains that necessary documentation needs to be obtained by butchers who wish to slaughter and sell animals. In addition, he says that the animals will also undergo veterinary checks.
We give the slaughterhouse license, so they also need to obtain that from us, and they need to get health certificates from us here at the Ministry of Health. And once we have all that information, they will not need to visit the veterinary division. Once we have the information as to the number of animals, the days of slaughter, that will be passed on to the veterinary division, and then they would have to have those animals available at least 24 hours before the date of slaughter to have that antemortem inspection done.
The purchasing public is advised to pay attention to the verification signs that should be affixed to the animal to ensure that they are buying quality roadside meat. Pierre divulged that a number of markers will indicate whether or not the butcher or farmer has gone through the proper procedure before selling their slaughtered meat.
Both the stamp and the certificate of wholesomeness that we issue. Because for some reason, sometimes maybe that part of the meat where the stamp has been placed may be chopped, but the officers also normally place the stamp on a high point on the meat where it's hung, so most times there is some remnants of that stamp. But in case you can't see that stamp and all the meat has been chopped, you could also ask for the certificate of wholesomeness to verify or to ascertain that meat has been inspected.
Pierre disclosed that the Ministry of Environmental Health remains concerned about the sale of roadside meats and conducts regular random spot checks to monitor conditions. He also urged the consuming public to be responsible in monitoring the settings of presented food. He stated that temperature abuse items, improperly stored items, and unsanitary handling of food are all things to look out for to keep safe during the festive season. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
City vendors are crying down officials at the Department of Infrastructure for choosing to conduct road rehabilitation works at seemingly unfavorable times. While they are all for road improvements, they believe the timing is not ideal. More in this report.
The Ministry of Infrastructure recently undertook road rehabilitation works in the vicinity of the Castries Vendors Market. With tourist arrivals in full swing, the vendors of the arcade have expressed their displeasure with the timing of these works, stating that they could have been done over the weekend or during the evening hours, when cruise ship vessels were not in the harbor. In the opinion of one irate vendor from the Castries Vendors Market named Marge, she expressed that the rehabilitation efforts were ineffective and ill-timed.
That thing they're doing there, it's not good at all. It's useless because If they want to fix up the road, cars going up and down, they have 2 cruise ships, they were supposed to do that in the night. If they take it and do it in the night, and furthermore, they should do a whole thing, because the PCA do is high, the 2 side low. What kind of marsh is that? That's not nothing that's good. That's not good at all. If they're doing something and they don't know what they're doing, ask people that better than them, because it's not good. Car could fall down there. People, children could fall down there. People could pass and fall down on that because it's too high. It's high, the 2 side low. What kind of marsh is that? That's not good at all. For me, I don't know for other people, but it's not good. They should do something that is good and people will talk about it. It's very good, but that's not good at all.
According to President of the St. Lucia Craft and Dry Goods Vendors Association, Peter Ras Iper Isaac, he believes that although the Ministry of Infrastructure has undertaken a worthwhile endeavor, a major nuance was created for both vendors and visitors.
I think that piece of work what they are doing there was long overdue, but I just think the timing is not really good. The timing is not good at all whatsoever. So that's why you see people are concerned, and you know the smell of the asphalt and so on coming out there, emanating the stench or the smell that emanating from the asphalt is also a concern for us. It may cause our wares like the apparel to have that smell, that oily smell and so on. So you know, or gas smell. So I'm just saying that this is the right thing they're doing, but I don't know if they chose the right time to do it.
Isaac divulged that the work was a continuation of efforts started over the weekend. However, due to mechanical issues, it had to be continued on Monday the 26th November. Isaac remains firm in his belief that the timing could have been much better to facilitate the vendors in earning their daily pay. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
Members of the Police Welfare Association came together for a general meeting on Tuesday morning. The gathering was to discuss a number of ongoing issues faced by the police, including wage negotiations and the controversial impacts report.
The Police Welfare Association is pulling out all the stops to ensure that its members get the proper training to boost not only the confidence level of the masses, but that of officers themselves. A general meeting was held Tuesday morning where a number of topics were discussed, including wage negotiations and the controversial impacts report. During that meeting, the PWA's president, Travis Chico, presented members with plans to discuss a way forward for the betterment of the police force, both financially and holistically.
As you've been aware, the government has dwindled an offer to the various trade union federation members, and the offer is no secret. It's where they've offered us to accept a lump sum for Christmas. And, it would have been important this morning to take the mandate from the general membership as to whether or not we accept the offer. At this point in time, I cannot directly give you a position of the executive, as you know that mandates are given by the general membership. So we are today to bring a number of pros and cons in terms of accepting it, and I await direction from the membership.
Chico introduced esteemed guests to the meeting, Edwin Powell, whom he said has proposed an interesting way for the PWA to combat the blues attached to the impacts report.
He's offered the Welfare Association free training in human rights training, where we'll be doing it at 3 levels, where we'll be doing beginners, intermediate and advanced. So he's here with us, and we're very, it's a pleasure to have him in St. Lucia. He's actually here on his own. He demanded nothing from the association. He's been looking into impacts very closely, and I can tell you this is one of the things that we pride ourselves on as an association, that we develop our members through education and training, and he's here with us, and there's nothing more that we can give him to pay him back, because I can tell you it is very needed at this point in time. You've heard a number of times that human rights activists have said that the police force has infringed on a number of rights of persons in this country, and it is a way forward for us, and we intend to take it as far to every region to let them know that we are prepared to do X, Y, and Z as it pertains to getting ourselves back on the international market for support.
Powell, who is a representative of Howard University, D.C. Superior Court, and is also a former commissioner for human rights in Washington, D.C., said as part of the training process, he plans on covering a lot of ground with the officers.
Well, rules of engagement, number one. Another is just basic human rights as it relates to all people, whether it's persons with mental illnesses, persons from different sexual orientations, to respect all individuals as it is directed through the Declaration of Human Rights. And so there's a lot of things that we'll have on the agenda. As I said earlier, I am here to advise and to support. I'll be taking some direction from the police department in terms of how things should fit into the training and so forth and so on. But most importantly, I have an independent stance in terms of just overall human rights on both sides of the badge.
Chico said Powell's visit is a sure sign of better days to come when it comes to restoring relations between the RSLPF and the United States of America. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards is putting out a reminder to the public that safety is their first priority during the festive season. The Bureau has made efforts to heighten surveillance of Christmas lights to ensure that consumers purchasing the decorative items are getting the best quality product.
With the Christmas season quickly approaching, many consumers are looking to get into the holiday spirit. One way that individuals show their Christmas cheer is through the colorful decorations and twinkling lights of Christmas decor. Many individuals, however, have experienced unforeseen damage to property and even loss of life as a result of faulty decorative lightings. Every year, during the festive season, the Bureau of Standards enacts its mandate to ensure customer safety by ramping up its surveillance of Christmas tree lights. Speaking with Head of Compliance in the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, Hubert Reynolds, he explains that the efforts of the Bureau, though they go unseen, will ensure that the purchasing public can enjoy a safe quality product that has been tested and approved.
Before the lights are allowed on market, we would test it to make sure that it's safe, and then the retailer is allowed to sell it. But just in the event that we miss something, we do market surveillance to make certain that the lights on the market are safe.
In addition to electrical testing, Reynolds divulged that there are other key factors that the Bureau is keeping an eye out for during their surveillance efforts, which encompasses proper instructions and labeling.
We check in to see whether it's properly labeled. A Christmas light that is designed to be used indoors need to say so, because if it's used outdoors, it could become a hazard. We check to see if it has a safety mark. So some of them come with a UL mark that indicates the underwriters laboratory have tested it and deem it safe. And we also look for whether there is instructions on how to set it up and so on.
A joyous occasion can quickly turn into a nightmare if proper compliance is not met. So states Reynolds, who expressed that the history of non-compliant Christmas tree lights has caused a host of problems in the past.
Before the standard for Christmas lights became compulsory, there was a lot of poor quality lights. The wiring was very, very thin. And it was kind of lights you could use for a few hours and then throw away. Some of them were safety hazards. They could cause a fire, and so when we implemented the standard, we weeded out a lot of those, and now the quality of Christmas lights coming to St. Lucia are a lot better than before when the standard was implemented.
Reynolds went on to state that many business places in St. Lucia do adhere to the compliance for Christmas tree lights. Unfortunately, when non-compliant lights are imported, the business can incur a financial loss when seized by the Bureau. He also instructed consumers who come into contact with suspicious lights to report it to the Bureau of Standards. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. We have more news coming up after the break.